Okay, another Liverpool pre-season out of the way. Final result, Liverpool 3, Lyon 1, or to give them their full title, Olympic Lyonnais. Now, the first thing to note, I think, is how did Klopp manage to get 24, 25, 26 different players on the pitch? So we'll just quickly run through the lineups first and just sort of explain where the substitutions happen. So there's the Liverpool starting lineup. Good to see Alisson back in goal. And obviously Firmino and Salah back up front. Now the first two subs came on about 30-31 minutes. Ryan Brewster came on for Firmino and James Milner came on for Shaqiri, and I thought Shaqiri played very well. You know, he pressed well, he was nibbling at people's ankles. A couple of times his passing wasn't just quite up to mark, but I thought he did well. At half time, there was Sepp van der Berg come on for Hoover at right back. Bobby Duncan came on for Salah, and Adam Lewis came on for Naby Keita. And I thought Keita, I mean, he had a few injuries last year. He was superb. He pressed really well. Again, he was another one chomping at the bit, chomping at the ankles of the players. And I thought he looked really sharp. Obviously, when Sepp van der Berg came on, Gomez went to right back, and Sepp van der Berg went into central defence. And then the final round of subs was on about 61 minutes, and it was all 11 players off, and the following 11 came on. We had Mignolet in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson at left back. We had Wijnaldum, Henderson, Fabinho, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and we had Harvey Elliott and Origi. So you can see Klopp did a magnificent job. They're all at different stages of fitness and pre-season level, but he did an excellent job to get them all in. Just give you a quick look at the Lyon lineup. You can see just a couple of notable names. You'll notice Memphis Depay up front, Dembele and Traoré up front, and they all look very sharp. They're three pacey guys up front there. So let's just have a quick look at the first half. I'll just run through my notes. It was a really sort of bit nervous opening from the defence. The first sort of 10-15 minutes, I thought a few people looked a little bit nervous, out of position. Gomez, Lovren in the back. I thought Gomez looked a little bit slower, to be honest, to start with. The goal came, I think, on 2 minutes. What a disaster that was. It was a hopeless cross in from Lyon, far out from the left. It was just a case of Alisson picking the ball up, but he decided to start playing basketball with it just inside his area, fumbled over, fell over. And was it Memphis Depay coming or Dembele? I can't remember. Came in. Pretended to be clipped by Alisson. I'm not so sure whether he was, but he deserved a penalty to be given against him, to be fair. He looked like he was still on the beach, but we'll forgive him that because I think he's an absolutely superb keeper. Penalty and 1-0 to Lyon. So it was all a little bit messy, although they pressed well and there was good intensity to start with, a little bit messy. Then as the half went on, they took control. You know, some really good play by the midfielders, Shaqiri, Keita. I thought Firmino and Salah, you know, just absolutely superb up front. Yes, Salah, his shots didn't quite go where he wanted them, but he looked lively, he looked up for it. He looked like he'd never been away, really. And, you know, on 16 minutes, I think it was, Firmino got that goal. Again, a bit of a messy one. The ball sort of deflected off a couple of players, landed on him. He was just on the corner of the 6-yard box where he was back to goal, landed at his feet, and he just swiveled on a sixpence and lashed it into the top corner. And it just shows that game at 1-0 there could have gone the other way if that goal hadn't gone in. So it just shows you how valuable somebody like Firmino and Salah in your team to score those goals. Harry Wilson looked excellent. He had a couple of shots. I thought the two left back and the right back did okay, and we'll talk about them a little bit later on. And it got to the about the 20th minute, and another goal for Liverpool. Again, a bit of another messy one. The ball was crossed in by Hoover on the right. Anderson, the Lyon centre half, he was sort of looking over his shoulder before the ball came in to see where his players were. And he didn't get his position right, he got his body shape wrong, he didn't get in position. The ball came over, it's a simple one to just clear with his left. He didn't, because he was out of shape, out of position, too busy watching where the attackers were, lashed it in with his right foot. And you've got to say, an absolute beautiful finish, and thank you very much. It was 2-1 to Liverpool. And the game went on, and Lallana, I thought, controlled it well, playing deep in the central midfield. And I thought he looked pretty good there as well. So overall, a pretty pleasing first half, I think, for Klopp. Like I say, those changes at half time, and on 52 minutes, another goal. This was there was no messing with this one. Harry Wilson picked the ball up about 20, 25 yards, maybe even 30 yards out. And the 22-year-old absolutely lashed it, left-footed, top corner. I watched him for Derby. He was on loan to Derby last year. I watched him quite a bit, and I was very impressed with him. I think he's an excellent player, but we'll talk about him a little bit later on as to whether he is that go-to guy if the top three aren't there. Larouche, again, played pretty well, but a couple of times he got caught out of position. And then we had those big subs on 61, and really that last half hour when that change of 11 came on, Lyon didn't get a look in. The centre halves didn't give them, Van Dijk didn't give them a look in, him and Mate, two full-backs eager to get forward again, and just very lively. They looked like a team that had played together. They looked very, very comfortable. Created chances, Harvey Elliott, and again we'll talk about him in a minute. So the game finished 3-1, good confidence booster, and from Klopp's point of view, he got to look at about 25 different players on the pitch, and you got to admire how he brought them all in and still kept the game and some good football from Liverpool. So what are the top 5 things we learned from that, and what Klopp will have learned? Well, the first one is Harvey Elliott. Now this is a guy, when he came, I thought, yeah, he's one for the future, maybe a couple of years down the line, probably going to the academy team. But he's obviously impressed. He's put him in the first team squad, and he's obviously impressed in training. And when he came on the pitch, there's not many players, when they come on, excite you. When he got the ball, you thought he was going to do something. Everything was positive and forward thinking. And I don't know if you noticed, he had the ball very close to his feet. When he dribbles, it didn't go too far from either foot. So I thought he was excellent. He goes looking for the ball as well. He was on the left 1 minute, then on the right, dropping off in the middle. He's got that confidence to look for the ball. And, I was a little bit disappointed with Ryan Brewster, because I didn't think he went looking for the ball. And I thought I was a little bit disappointed in him. He'd just gone off the boil the last couple of pre-season matches after a bright start. But Harvey Elliott, I thought, excellent. The big question is how much is he going to use him this year? I still think he's a year down the line, but this is a sort of lad looking at his confidence and looking at that skill level that, give him a few little runs out and see where he goes in that first team this year. And he could be just one of these guys that, 17-year-old, and he could be a first team regular. You never know. So it's one to watch, definitely. Second thing to learn from yesterday was the two sort of second choice fullbacks, Hoover and Larouche. Now, put it bluntly, are they as good as Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson? No, they're not. When those two came on, they're a mile above them in terms of quality and strength and position and just overall play. I thought that those two were excellent. But Hoover, I thought, looked the better at right back, and I wouldn't be too disappointed to see him again. Obviously, there's always Gomez that can slip into that right-back slot as well, if Trent Alexander-Arnold is injured or whatever, or give him a rest. But that left-back, Larouche, he shows a lot of promise, and he's very sharp, but there's a couple of times defensively I thought he got caught out of position. Now, he was a little bit lucky on a couple of occasions, but Is he a good player? Yeah, he's superb. Will he do as a backup to Andy Robertson? Yes. But he's not quite at the level ideally you would like as a replacement left back. But yes, I would persist with him as a second choice left back. I think certainly another one for the future. The third big thing that we learnt really is Firmino and Salah and obviously Sadio Mane when he come back. They're priceless players. They just looked at home on that pitch in that first. Obviously they didn't get as much game time, but they've been away. Salah looked very fit, very sharp, very lively. I love the way that he peels off to the wing, or he drops in, looking to play people in when he's on the ball, looking to get past people. He's just looking. He's a nightmare for a defender. You never quite know where he's going next. Admitted his shooting was just a little bit off, but first bit of pre-season minutes, you can forgive him that. And Firmino, that goal, again, he's priceless. Another clever player in the penalty box, and that's worth a lot to Liverpool. So that was my third sort of thing I learned is that I don't think they look like they're going off the boil. Fourth thing I learned was that back four that came on 61 minutes. Your Trent Alexander-Arnold, Matip in the middle, Van Dijk and Andy Robertson. They looked absolutely solid. Lyon didn't get a sniff in that last thing, and that to me looks like his best four to start with. Gomez, I thought, just looked a little bit heavy-legged, a little bit heavy, got caught out of position a couple of times. I think he probably just needs a few more pre-season minutes, really, and a few more minutes at the start of the season to get back to where he was. So that back four to me looks pretty, that came on 61 minutes, looks pretty settled. And the fifth thing I learned is that fourth attacking option that Klopp is obviously looking at, if my front three, my main three are out, or I want a little bit of width, where do I go for it? And obviously he had a good look at Harry Wilson, Origi again, Ryan Brewster, and Harvey Elliott. Now, the pick of the bunch really for me were Harvey Elliott and Harry Wilson. And it was interesting when Klopp spoke in the press conference afterwards about Harry Wilson. I think he was asked the question, is it? I didn't quite catch the question, but it sounded like, is he going to be moving on? Is he going to be sold, loaned out again? Do you see him starting? And Klopp was quite strange with his answer. He said, "We're going to do the right thing for the club and him as a player." And it did sound to me like he would consider offers for him. Now, I thought he played excellent. The shot he scored was superb. He had another 20-yard shot. I think it got blocked or saved. It was excellent. Is he good enough to provide you 15 goals a season, 15, 20 goals a season, if you've got problems with one of those front three? I don't know. I'm a big fan of his, but I'm not sure he is. Origi, again, he slightly disappointed me. I don't think he gave enough again to show that he can, really at the present time anyway, provide you 15, 20 goals a season. Harvey Elliott, yes, I think he will do, but in possibly a season or two. But he's one to watch. And the other one was Ryan Brewster. I was a little bit disappointed in him, to be honest. So I think the fifth thing we learned from that game is that Klopp is still not quite happy with, if he hasn't got his front three playing, who's he going to put in? Where, is he going to play somebody else down the middle like Brewster? Is he going to go wide with an Elliott or a Wilson? I don't think he's quite satisfied with that and quite settled. And I wouldn't be. I would still be looking in the market and seeing if there is somebody available to add that backup and rotation that can just provide you with some goals and assists should the unthinkable injury happen to one of those three. But overall, it was a good match. It was high intensity. There was lots of pressing. I thought the fitness levels from the players looks to have come on a treat in the last week or so. Are they ready for Man City in the cup match next week, the curtain raiser? It's going to be a good. I don't think they're back to full level yet, and Man City won't be neither. So it'll be an interesting match. It'll be a good match. And it was a good confidence boosting win. I think Klopp looked a lot happier in the press conference afterwards. If you like the videos, love any support in terms of liking and subscribing below. Thank you once again for watching, and interested to hear your comments as usual in the comment section. I try to respond to as many as I can, but I really love seeing what people think, because we've all got different opinions, and I love to hear different opinions on the players and the lineups and the transfer signing. So please do comment below. Thanks for watching.